Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Eddie here at Eddie Makes Art. And today I'm going to talk about two things. We're going to do some jelly plating, but first I want to go over a couple of things that will improve your jelly printing and your use of acrylic paints and stencils and masks overall. So bear with me. I'm going to do some explaining, but we'll get to the art in a little bit. So I want to talk about transparent paints, and it's just what it sounds like. It's a paint that allows the light to pass through it, making it possible for you to see the underlying layers and textures beneath it. Think of it as a colorful sheer layer. It's like almost like stained glass. It's a characteristic that makes it ideal for things like layering, glazing, which is adding a wash of color over a dried area to adjust like the tones or subtle color shifts. You've seen me do that before. And then it's great when you're working with it in mixed media to allow for the elements like textures or collage materials to show through. An easy way to spot the transparent paint is by looking for the labels or symbols on the tube. Most brands are going to indicate transparency with an open square or specifically stating transparent, sometimes both. So for example, with the Amsterdam Standard Series, they're very clearly labeled, and they tell you here, it's the number of the paint, 317, the open, empty square, that means it's transparent. And it tells you right in the name, transparent red mid. There you go, easy as pie. And then the next step, the next level is semi-transparent. And the semi-transparent is like in the middle ground between the transparent and an opaque paint. It does let some light in, and some of the details will show through. However, it's going to have more coverage compared to a fully transparent paint like this. However, they are useful for things as such, softening the details, like adding a touch of color without completely, destroying or obscuring what's beneath. Blending effects, you create smooth transitions between colors and layers. And you can control the opacity. It's perfect for when you want a balance of visibility and coverage. Okay, and like transparent paints, semi-transparent paints are also labeled on tubes. Like for example, this one, it's a half-filled square next to the paint number, and which means semi-transparent. That's according to the Amsterdam website. But mostly, it's true for most brands. But obviously, if you have a specific brand that you use and you want to know more, obviously go to their website because they're going to have a lot more information. I'm trying to just give you, the basics and the fundamentals of how and when to use them. And then you come to the opaque paint. Now, these are usually labeled with a solid square. And another good clue is if it contains the pigment PW6 or PW, which is permanent white, which means it's going to have opaqueness in it. Even if the square is half full, like, what do I have here that's got some... I separated my paints today so I could go over this with you and be able to access them easier. So for example, this one is from Liquitex. It is a light olive green, and then you see it's got the square that's half full. And if I look through the pigment colors that are clearly printed there, there's PW6, permanent white 6. So that's going to be, for me, that says semi-opaque. Depending on the pigment, depending on the brand of paint, you can brayer it out to where you can get it to semi-transparent if you bray it out thin enough, but that's a whole nother ball game. I'm not going to get into that today. But a good way to use these together is they work beautifully if you layer strategically. So use transparent paints for the base layers or the subtle highlights, and semi-transparent for the midtones in the piece. Experiment with them on your gel plate. So both types are excellent for building layers and using on your gel plate and creating different effects. You can blend a transparent paint with a semi-transparent paint, one, to tweak the opacity, and to achieve unique textures. So, you know, that's why I always say play with your paints, experiment with what you have so you know how they work together, individually, what have you. So, you know, always keep that in mind. So when you're, you know, understanding these, it can elevate your art because you're going to know whether you're layering glaze and you're creating mixed media pieces. When you know how to use these paints, it allows you to bring your vision, your creative vision to life. And then the next thing I want to talk about is stencils versus masks. Now, I pulled out some masks here that I want to try and use today with my semi and transparent paints. And so what a stencil is your a thin sheet of material, usually plastic or metal. It's got the, you know, shapes cut out, and the ones I use are, you know, mostly 99% PM Artist Studio, and they use a Yupo material, Yupo paper, not a paper, it's a sheet of material, and it's 74 pounds, and it's a polypropylene. So basically it's a plastic, but it's very durable and flexible. And, you know, with the stencil, you know, you think of it as creating positive shapes in your artwork. The designs of the cutout is transferred onto the surface of your art. So when you use your stencil, you place it on, you know, your gel plate, and then you apply your medium, like with your brayer, and then lift the stencil off, and then you're left with the design. So, you know, you can use your stencils, you're adding patterns, layering, make, you know, more specific shapes than if you were to hand draw it, or you know, that sort of thing if you're looking for that. But today I want to focus on masks, because a lot of people, they're like, what's the difference between the mask and the stencil? I'm not sure how to use, you know, one versus the other. Are they the same? Are they whatever? They are ideal. They're used to cover or block areas of your surface so that the paint doesn't reach them. So masks create negative spaces in your artwork by protecting the covered area while you work on the uncovered parts. So for example, I want to use this here. These are vintage light bulbs. So for example, if I have this pattern paper and I want to block off this section here, the mask will do that. So anything that I put over the mask will be protected. Whatever I put over the mask, it will protect. The mask will protect this area here that's under, right? So pretty easy, right? And it's good for, you know, doing those sorts of things, preserving the spaces you want to preserve or the layers you want to preserve. It creates depth, adding negative shapes and silhouettes to your composition will help you achieve that. You can use it with stencils for a more dynamic effect with your prints, which is, you know, I've done that before. Now the difference is the stencils add designs by applying the medium through the cutout shape, creating positive patterns, and then the mask protects the area by blocking the medium and creating the negative space. So I hope that that explains it a bit more, the difference between the stencil and the mask. When you use them together, it's really exciting when you combine them, because you can use a mask to block an area, then layer a stencil design around it. It adds depth, alternating between the positive and negative spaces. Now today, I'm only using masks, okay? Because what I want to do is I have some 12 by 12 scrapbook paper that's not necessarily in my color wheel for projects, so that I typically do. So I'm going to try and change them up with some of my transparent and semi-transparent paints because I don't want to completely block out the patterns that are here. I don't mind the patterns. It's the color. So that's what we're going to work on today. And I'm going to achieve that, like I said, with masks and semi and transparent paint. So let me get this set up, and then I'll come back and we'll just start playing around. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to use these light bulb masks. And this is a 12 by 14 plate, but I'm doing 12 by 12 sheets. So what I'm going to do is do my best to leave an inch on either end. And I'm just going to put these different ways, because I don't know exactly which way I will use the paper, so it's nice to have, you know, options of design, I guess you could say. So maybe we'll do this one here. And these, again, are available through pmartiststudio.com. You can find these under Vintage Light Bulbs or Judy P. She was a designer for PM Art Studio. Maybe this one can come down that way. Maybe come in this way, and you can go that way. Okay. So I got some of this blue paint here I need to use up. This is primary blue from Liquitex. So I'm just gonna put some of that on here and then add some other blue. Carefully now. Let's see here. Let's get as much out as we can. Come on. I want to get enough so that I have enough coverage. But yeah, there's not a lot left. I did a good job scraping this thing down. And, you know, it's important when you don't have a lot of money for supplies that you make the best of what you do have and not waste it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that for, I can cut the tube one day and get some a little bit more there. Now, what else can we add to this? I'm looking here, I got my little Lazy Susan over here of transparent paints. And I'm gonna add, what should I add? That's green, I'm gonna get that. You know what, let's just stick with this blue. We'll go ahead and brayer it out. So I just wanna make sure I leave an inch at the top and an inch at the bottom. And if you need more information in the PM Artist Studio, all that info is in the description box under this video. And while you're there, you can also check out all the different links of where you can find me on social media. You can find links to my swag, get you some cool t-shirts. Soon those t-shirts will be appearing under each of my videos, hopefully. Which will make it easier for you to see what's new in my swag shop. All right, let me clean you off here. This paper down. This is gonna be tough because it's exactly 12 inches. So I'm just gonna do my best to line this up well. I've already missed some, but that's okay. And I did this wrong already because I forgot to take the masks off. So let me do this. I'm gonna go ahead and take off the masks now and see if I can salvage this, because there was, I don't know if you heard that ding, but I heard it get a little text message and it distracted me for a second. I usually shut off all my devices when I'm filming. Let's try this again. It's gonna be a little wonky, but it is what it is. It's our first one, and I got paint all over the other one too. Some of this here. And I have my Baron. And this is just carnival tissue I'm using to clean up the edges. Let's see how this turned out. Oh, that's not bad at all. That's great. That turned out really, really great. And what's left behind, that's what's called a ghost print. So I could come in with another sheet here. And you could start building on this one. And add this to this. And if that stays, that was wet enough, it should work, right? Well, there's something there, and I'm cool with that. So let me set this to the side. All right. Let's place these down again. And see if we can get this one. Get another layer on that one. Down. Here we go. Okay. So some other blue here. Let's try this ultramarine blue. That should be enough. This blue's a little warmer. Remember I was saying is if you have a paint that's semi-transparent, maybe semi-opaque, and you want to make it a little more transparent, the thinner you roll it out, the more obviously transparent it's going to be, but the quicker the paint's going to dry. So always want to keep that in mind. So we'll try to get in here into these little details best I can. Remove the masks. Oh boy. Oh well. What are you gonna do? We're not making masterpieces here. We're just having some fun. Trying to learn each other's stuff. All right, so this one. I'm gonna go this way. Hopefully, we've got a nice design, nice layer on that, and then we can come back, go to the other one. That should be dry, and add another layer to that. You can see some of that's already dry, but I think that was from the last layer. Oh yes, look at that. Now, some of these edges we're gonna have to come back in and get, but not concerned with that right now, because another layer may get that paint. So this can decide to dry. So for this one, we need to add we need to add another color. That's what I'm trying to say. And maybe if I can bring the red back in with Permanent Rose, but it's still not going to be, it'll be different though. Let's give it a try. What have we got to lose? Oh my God, that's hard. Okay, there we go. I need to clean that part there, but not right now. So what masks did I pull? Oh, here, you know what I can do? I have these lovely dragonflies. These are masks, also from PM Artist Studio. And I'm gonna lace them down. And then hopefully, so that if I put this down like this, I can have a dragonfly here. Maybe do one up here, this corner. There, maybe. Actually, that one is for here. This is where I want this one. More over, a little bit more over. Just kind of layer it that way. One up this way, maybe. And how about we just do one coming in? Maybe one like that. That's it. We got 4. All right. But for these, I'm going to use my smaller brayer so I don't get these. Sometimes they tend to lift, and also with the smaller brayer, I can get into the areas, the smaller areas better, because these have a lot of small little beautiful cutouts, and I want to get that detail. So let's see, go to here, 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 and here. This is Permanent Rose. That's Winsor Newton Galleria. That's transparent paint. Yeah, the smaller brayer works better for these smaller openings. And then I'm just going to spread whatever paint is left. Let's get these masks up before I forget. You see that beautiful detail? And when you're pulling off delicate stencils or masks, always find the point of least, I guess, pressure to pull at the stencil or the mask so that you don't rip it, break it, you know. Now, I'm not letting really anything dry on the plate for too long. These are quick pulls. So if you're wondering about time and all that. Okay, so fingers crossed. This will be interesting. Not bad. I could have used a more contrast in color, but it is what it is. And I think I got some nice details there and there. And remember, this is probably not going to be used as a whole sheet anyway, so it'll be, you know, cut down. But you can see there, it's got beautiful print there. And then I love how the pink the permanent rose filled in that area and brought that dullish red, gave it more life. That is great. Okay. And again, I'm not super concerned about the edges. I can get those later, like paint them in, fill them in, or whatever. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. All right, what's our next piece? Let's do this one here since we already have pink on the plate. We have here my other masks. I have over here. These are sunburst dials rather. Those are also from PM Artist Studio. And get those down. Now maybe we do a lighter color with this one. Unfortunately, I don't have very many light colors in the transparent paints, so tis what it is. And you know, I'm using what I've got. I have this, my yellow. Where's my yellow? I literally just had it. Here it is. So let's go with some yellow here. Get our masks out. This is two different things, but I'm going to use these. And of course, they're mixed. All right, here's one. Now, when you order these masks, you'll get these 3 pieces here, plus the 3 inner bits of those. Where are my other 2? You get those 3, plus you get 3 more, so you get 6 bits altogether. Okay, so you can make a nice starry sky. Over here. So, how do we want to lay these out? I'm just going to leave that there. I'll leave this here. Maybe bring this up here. There. So, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, all over. All right, we'll get some paint down. A little trinket off there. So what if we did, let's do some color mixing. It's me yellow. And I'm just gonna do some orange. Why not? That should be enough. I'm not gonna go overboard. Just keep it in mind that I'm working a 12 by 12 sheet. And I have a larger than that plate. Focus on getting into these nooks and crannies here. Now, these are both semi-transparent, and you see the more I brayer it out, the more transparent it gets, but again, it dries faster, so I just have to be cognizant of that when I'm working. And I also got to keep in mind, I got to take the masks off before I lay my paper down. Get in there. All right, sprayer cleaned. Get a little spatula here to help me with these smaller bursts. Feeling like this is drying fast. I'm trying to go as quickly as I can. And again, this is the first layer. This is just one layer. I can add more. Change up the positioning of the masks and then add another color. Not too shabby. That mostly came up. So you see, it's a good first layer. Just gotta remember next time we're gonna put this on the side a little more centered. And it even got some of that blue from earlier, which is fine with me. Okay. So let's. Yeah, that's where it was, right? Yeah. So maybe we can put this one here. We can do. I already put that one there, so maybe here. Good. There. Position them differently than before. Keep wanting to go over, like, align it with what's already there, where we did already. So maybe I can leave these off. Yeah, we'll try that. Leave one of those off there. And then maybe for this next layer, we have here. But magenta. Do a quinacridone magenta. Here we are. There's a permanent magenta. This is transparent. That other one is semi-transparent. This is all transparent. Let's see here. If I need to, I'll add more. I don't want to overdo it because, again, we're trying to layer and not cover up. That's good, yeah. All right, let's get these bad boys up. right? Last one. All right. I'll make sure I get that edge special thing. All right, this is pretty cool. Now, also what I could have done is done the same thing as I did on this first layer, was use 2 different colors, but hindsight, right? See how we did here. Lovely. Beautiful. So you see you can see the layers underneath, even here. You can see some of that coming through. You still have some of that exposed, the original paper. So you can even come back with the glaze. Once this is all dry, I can use like maybe one of my color shift paints, you know, something with a little shine to it, and add that over this. And that will help fill in some of this original paper, and then just give an overall great shiny look. That's great. Okay, I need to do a little maintenance here. Let me shift these out of the way because these are still wet. I don't want them sticking together or to paper. Stuff up here. All right, you can go there. Now let's try some grunge. Let's grunge up this pink. I'm going to leave that on there to add to the grunge. This is an IMPP, which is an imperfectly perfect stencil. So sometimes Mariah, PM Artist Studio, has stencils that don't cut properly on the cutter. And instead of throwing them away, she gives them to some of her designers, like myself, to play around with. So here we are. I've got that there. That's cool. And where's the other one? I think it's over here. Okay, speaking of other designers, these are scattered numbers from Carrie the Crafter. Thought these would be fun to use. So we could put do that one there. This one here, maybe like that, maybe like that. That's good for now, and then on the second layer we can shift it around and see how that looks. But what color do we want to muck it up with? What do I have? Let's go for this nickel azo yellow. Let's do some of that. Fluid, transparent, and some turquoise, phthalo. Again, I'm just mixing it up, getting it into the nooks and crannies. Fast because the fluids definitely dry faster than the regular ones. Polka dot side first. Yeah, and I will eventually do both sides of these sheets, but for now, I'm gonna just do one just to demonstrate you know, using the transparent, semi-transparent paints and masks. Oh, here we go. Go, Eddie. Use your tools. All right, let's see. Fantabulous. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now, here's the next thing. We got to get some coloring. Not coloring. We got to reposition the stencils so we get a different set of patterns. So maybe we can offset this one here. Actually, do it this way. Up there. So I'm thinking of it like this is going to come down this way. So we're going to put these. Yeah. Here. So, let's do another color. Do our transparent red iron oxide, or some of this blue here, and that's it. I'm gonna keep it light on the plate. For this layer, this one can come up. I don't know, I got so low down there. That's gonna be bad. Oof. Well, just leave it as it is. It is what it is, Eddie. All right, let's get this up. As much of those edges as I can. And mind you, the paper isn't always cut 12 by 12 exactly as they say. So that adds to the wonkiness sometimes too, but nothing a little pain or whatever can't fix, right? good layering here. Now I want to get some of this paint on here, see if I get these edges. I do it this way. Just do it that way, why not? That'll help. Okay. And these lines, those are the brayer, the lines from the brayer, and I'm perfectly okay with that. So I'm gonna let this dry for a moment. We've got, then we have this guy here. We could put in some of these numbers here too. And what do I have that maybe could go on top? Here, we're gonna color shift this one. We're gonna use some of this blue-violet flash. That should be fun, interesting. I'm gonna leave that as it is. I'm gonna add this here. I'm just trying to be random and not too pattern-y. I don't know. You know what I mean. You smell what I'm stepping in, don't you? You smell it. Maybe in here. Move this one up a little bit. Get this one down here. Okay, there's still some blue in it. I'm cool with that. Not a problem. It just adds to the love. Come on. That should be enough because you don't really need a thick layer of this. But you do want to get into these bits and pieces. But these are great, very affordable paints to have in your collection. The folk art line of paints, especially their metallics and their color shifts. They're great. Great for the money. See, it's a beautiful color. It's not going to take away, but it's going to add a nice sheen. And by color shift, when you turn the paper, depending on which way you turn the paper and look at it, it's going to have a different cast to it, whether gold or blue or violet. Very cool, very cool. All right, let's see what this looks like. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Isn't that great? Got some numbers, got some cool shine. Oh, I love that. That's looking really good. All right. That one is pretty done. I think the edges that are gonna need a little attention, but I think otherwise we're good. Now for this one, let's keep going. But I think for this one, I need to wipe this down a little bit because I just want to do a glaze on this one. And I want to, because I want to go over some of this exposed original paper on there. So let me get my wipes almost dry. So for the glaze, I thought the here it is, hiding. This is from Golden. It's the Interference Gold Fine. And it's gonna add a layer of that shine. But it shouldn't take away, it's really not gonna take away too much from the colors that are there, which I like that combo there. So I think I don't wanna demolish that. Not much of this left, so let's see what I can get out of here. And for this, obviously, I'm not using masks. Just the plate to the paint to the plate and the paper to the plate. That's it. Just trying to get smooth coverage here. Come on. Okay. That's golden. You still have your colors underneath. That is spectacular. Missed some here, not worry about it. And come back with a little brush and get that done. Okay. Another one done. Let's try this last one here. Ooh, that is, whew, yeah. Let's tone that down. I'm gonna move these out of the way. I have some magnolia flowers I want to use. These are great. They come in all shapes and sizes. Or these are cherry blossoms, I'm sorry. I always call them magnolias. I believe these are the cherry blossoms masks. Just lay these out. Every which way but loose. Some this way, some that way. Is that one? Yeah, okay. Come on. Love these. They get some good loving. And these, I forgot what those are. I'll have the links in the description box. I believe it's all from the same collection. They're just, you know, obviously the flower in different positions. Now maybe for this one I could go like that. This one here, and get a larger one here. That's good. Okay, so 2 here. Let's start with some phthalo green. This is a semi-transparent paint. Just got a little nodule there, or trinket as some call it. Some of this, trying not to do too thick of a layer. Within my 12 by 12 parameter here. And you notice that when I put these down, I put the clean side down, the white side down. I try to keep one side of the stencil or masks free of paint. That side always sticks better to the plate, and that way you don't get things flipping up when you're bringing out your paints. It also means that you don't want to leave it down on any paper if it's wet, because it'll stick to the paper and you'll have to soak it and get the paper off and all that hoo-ha. So I'm just gonna shift this over a little bit so I can get my masks and lay them down. Come on, come on. Yeah. See. And these are wonderful. Pick it up. One day I will have a proper studio with so much space I wouldn't know what to do with it. But for now, everything is just crowded. But you work with it, right? You work with what you got. The feeling I didn't go far enough up and down with my paint, but no worries. We'll get you on the next go around. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. That definitely toned that down, didn't it? All right. So I need some green here. Let's see if I can get some of this up off of what's on the plate. Get any not enough, really. Yeah, that's pretty dry. But isn't that so much better? So much better. All right. Let me let this dry a little bit. And now this one here, I need to add some of this. I think I'm going to work on specific areas maybe here and add some transparent red iron oxide. I'm gonna just put it right over this. I'm not super concerned over that. Now this is an open paint, that's why it's in the jar. Well, not necessarily that's why it's in the jar, just it's loosey-goosey paint, but it's an open paint, so it'll allow me time to work with it and get what I need done. Bam. So what I want to do is I want to try to get this edge here. So maybe I'm just gonna go all the way up and down. This is where you get dirty, but it's all fun, right? Get some there. Get some here. Right, I'm just trying to fill in some spaces. Maybe that do a little kiss over those numbers there. Get this edge. Kiss of that number there. Some of this edge. A little bit there. All right. Very cool. A little more. Yeah, no, I think that's good. I'm gonna leave that the way it is. I think that's very good. All right, we have some work to do on this one. And I think what I'm just gonna do is spread this out. I'm gonna try and clean up this plate. Get some of this paint off here. Work on that. let's get some of this off as much as we can. Some good grungy bits. Let's see how much more over here I can get. Oh yeah, that's good. That's what I love about this open paint. It just stays sticky long enough for you to get enough off the plate. I think that's good. So you're going to retire until you dry. Take a little bit. And then I think for the next masks, should we go ahead? Or the other ones here? Got the light bulbs. Should we do the dragonflies next? Where did I do it? I did put them here. Here are the dragonflies. So let's position our paper so we know what we're doing. So if I were to flip it this way, I would want, let's put a dragonfly here. Nope. I would want it maybe here. All right, okay. That's that. Away. And where else can we put one? One there. Gonna need a little one. Thought I had smaller. There might not be any more. This more in, just trying to put it where the spaces, the darker spaces are. Maybe one more up here, maybe flying in that way. So for this one, then why not? Let's just put this guy in here. Don't call me crazy, but I'm gonna go with some orange. It's just paper, right? Okay. The brayer's still sticky from the other paint, but that's okay. Just want to make sure I get my details here filled in. Let's just cover the whole plate. All right. Up, dragonfly. Okay, what do we got here? Come on. Oh, yeah. Now, something else you can do, and I just remembered that I saw it in the corner of my eye. You can use something with texture in these open spaces here. Add another layer of interest. And I didn't mean to talk about that earlier and I forgot, but remember, bubble wrap is your friend, and it's wanting to be used. Oh, not the big tissue here. Smaller one. That's just like regular tissue, actually. Doesn't feel like my carnival. Some got mixed. The regular stuff got mixed in with the carnival. That's okay. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Grungy coolness. Oh yeah, I love that. Got the hint of that, some of that. This is not too shabby. And again, just gotta work on some of these edges, but that's easily fixed. I mean, you could certainly come back with some mark makers if you want to, you know, use some stamps or something to fill in some of these areas. That's great too. But it's, you know, play around, experiment. That's what I'm doing today. Is I'm just giving everything a little try and seeing what I can show you, and just, you know, have a good play. I like to be spontaneous sometimes. It's just tends to work out better for me. Okay, for Magnolias, what should we do with Magnolias? I need another color on here. And I'm gonna go with blue. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with blue. So we can put one here, here. Here. Lay them all out. Got a little one here, little guy here. Okay. So, yeah, let's mix up some of this gold and blue. You dry in there? I don't have a pokey right now. Let's see what I can find here. A little bit of gold, a little bit of this blue. Not doing too much. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. All right, I'm about to have a paint collapse here. Yeah, they're gonna fall. Just let them be. All right. Way. So get my Magnolias up. All right, I think this will be the last one. If you can't tell, my voice is already going. Still dealing with some side effects of the flu. And the cold weather here doesn't help, so my my voicey gets a little tired. I mean, I'm not tired, but it sounds like I am, and it's just, I don't think you should be made to listen to that. Uppers, uppers, come on, before everything dries. This should be interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, little how-to and whatnot. Have fun with you guys. And these probably won't be used for a while, but I don't know. I just wanted to cover some of these up because I don't like the coloring necessarily. I like the patterns, but not necessarily the coloring, so that's that. All right, so let's see what transpired here, if anything. Well, it's not too bad. It's splotchy, but I don't know. It needs a little bit of work, that's for sure. Now this is something that you could splatter onto. And like I said before, you could add, you know, more stuff to this once you're done doing the layering. But today I just wanted to show you the layering and all that great stuff. And then talk about transparent and semi-transparent paints. All right. So that's one. Let's pull in the other ones that we did here. We have this one with the light bulbs, that's fun. This one that's got that really great iridescent gold going on. The transparent, what do they call that? The interference? Interference, right. And then this one here, it's got some of the open paint and it's still wet, so there's that. That grungy goodness there. This was it. I don't see any more. And then this was the very first one we started with. So some of these, yeah, they're going to need a little bit more work, but that's the great thing about gel printing is you can certainly add more. You know, there's always more that you can do, and you know, even off the gel plate, like I said, you can do some stamping on it, do some splatter work on it. Maybe I'll do that next. Do some splatters. I don't know, but you know, once these are completely dry, I'll look back at them and I'll see what else they need. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. Let me know what your favorite transparent or semi-transparent paints are in the comments. There might be one I haven't heard of, or maybe one that I really need. So let me know. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Talk to you very soon. Bye.